show where we give some of South Africa's best legal advice dispensed by some of South Africa's best legal professionals. We're joined again today by Tutu from Mgiba Law, and we're here to talk about one of the most problematic legal problems that comes up in South Africa right across the board. We have an enormous problem with this in South Africa, in fact the worst in the world. We're here to talk to Tutu today about drinking and driving. So let's get into it and ask him. So hypothetically, Tutu, I'm driving down the road and I get pulled over at a roadblock for drinking and driving. Whether I have been drinking or I haven't been drinking, what comes next?
Yes, first thing I need to just put it out there, I'm not a criminal law expert, so a lot of the things, if you feel are not correct, you may just go consult a criminal law expert. But I do a lot of bail applications, right? So particularly with the police bail. So in a situation like that, when you've been stopped at a roadblock, it's mandatory you have to submit yourself to, in America they do the walk the line situation.
Yeah, they call it a pre-sobriety test or whatever.
Very weird. You have to do a whole lot of dances, but yeah, we do you blow into the machine.
And you've got no right to refuse. You have to comply or you're going to jail.
Yeah, it's mandatory. So you have to blow into that machine. Once that happens, if you're over the limit, I think the limit now is 0.05%. So that's equivalent to a dumpy.
I mean, for a guy my size, it's one beer.
Yes, 350 mils. Yeah, so it's about a dumpy.
For a guy my size, it's one beer. If you're Bucky's Porter, it's like a case.
So yeah, if you're drinking a shot is also just over that limit. A shot of brandy or whatever. A glass of wine is plus minus around 0.0. So once that you've blown over, depending on how nice the police officer. If it's a little over, you just say, hey, just watch it. You can go home.
But that's up to them. That's the officer's discretion.
Yeah, it's officer's discretion, depending, on the circumstances there. So if that's the case, they'll put you into the van, or they tell you to follow them to the nearest hospital or clinic, where they will do a blood test.
And who administers the blood test?
So it'll be one of the personnel, nurses at the clinic or the hospital. Nurses or one of the medical practitioners there, yeah.
And what is when they talk about the test, the blood test, or the so-called test kits, what can they expect in this process?
So the blood test, it tells you if the person had been drinking and the actual amount, the volume that he'd been drinking.
And it's a sealed kit that comes from the state, or?
No, it's not really. They draw the blood and then they put it into the thing, they go to the labs and etc. But the problem with that also is that sometimes it takes a lot of time for the results to come out, because we don't have that many labs and stuff like that, etc. So I had a case once where the guy was arrested in 2018, not even like 2018.
Yeah.
Until this day, we're into 2024, we haven't received the results of that situation. I was able to bail them out, and then we went to court for a few times, and I asked them to throw the matter out so that they can allow the police to finish their investigation, because if there's no blood test, there's no blood test results, there's no investigation. Right?
Yes,
so the investigation must be done, which will then, once it's done, they can summon my client back to court and we'll handle the process from there.
So just to wrap it up where we are now, you're driving down the road, you've been pulled over by the police, they may suspect you've been drinking, they ask for breathalyzer, you have no option to refuse, you have to blow into the breathalyzer.
Yeah.
If you're innocent and you're under 0.05, I think you said it was, they'll let you go. If you're a tiny bit over, it's up to their discretion. If they decide you're done and that you have been drinking and driving, they will arrest you at this later date and they will take you to a clinic or a doctor or somebody that has the legal authority to pull the blood, because obviously you need medical training. They now pull the blood, it goes to the state lab, and where we are now is the point where you say it could take years for those results to come back.
It could take years, but that's not a definite. Remember, sometimes people are really drunk. Really, like, you can tell this person's drunk and they may have caused accidents, so that's a different story altogether. But And to just answer your question quickly, call an attorney. Have an attorney on standby, even if it's not a practicing attorney. Even if it's not an attorney practicing in criminal law, that attorney will know someone who does practice in some.
Out of curiosity, would you ever recommend that somebody admits guilt?
Without consulting?
Yes, without consulting a lawyer. So the police will often ask you, are you guilty? And we can kind of just let you go. They'll take you to the police station. They'll say something like, are you guilty?
Okay, what do we do in terms of speeding? a roadblock for alcohol?
Yes.
Well, they'll ask you if you've been drinking. And then you can say, yes, I have been drinking. And then they will say, okay, fine, we need to do this thing. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to take your confession. They're going to also take your the results of the breathalyzer and the blood test.
So just to wrap up, in its entirety, it's actually not that complicated. First of all, don't get arrested drinking and driving. It's a huge problem in South Africa. You're going to get a criminal record. It could impact you for the rest of your life. When you get to the roadblock, cooperate, because the police have the right to request anything of you. To identify yourself, they can search your vehicle, they can breathalyze you if you wish. Don't resist, comply, follow the protocols, make sure you contact a lawyer, keep all the details of the case. And honestly, it's not that complicated. There's not much you can do. If you've been breaking the law and you have been arrested for drinking and driving, those are the only steps. Contact a good lawyer as soon as you are able to. The last point, maybe in just like 10 seconds, what happens if they arrest you, say, on a Friday night with bail? Just in 30 seconds.
If they arrest you on a Friday night, you call a lawyer,
Yeah.
you can get you out the same night. It's called police bail, right? Depending on the circumstances. If you are in an accident and you bump someone, and then now you've gone into another schedule of bail. So if it's just an ordinary roadblock, call the attorney, you'll be bailed out the same night. If you don't, you might spend the whole weekend in prison and come out on a Monday. So call an attorney, the attorney will come through and negotiate your bail for that evening.
That's amazing advice. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. If you ever have a problem with something like this, get hold of Tutu. He's obviously in Gauteng. If you are anywhere else in the country, comply, don't drink and drive, contact your lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye for now.